In 1992, a game called Mario Kart was released, and in 1993 it came to Europe. But there was a problem with this. Mario Kart didn't come to PC. So all these guys on the Nintendo had great fun racing each other and having a great time in the process, but the PC users were left out in the cold, and somebody had to go about and fix this. It was a small team called Beavissoft who decided, yes, we are going to be the ones to fix this. And they decided to program what was essentially a Mario Kart clone called Wacky Kart. Now, 4 people made what was eventually called Wacky Wheels. And that's the kind of philosophy that there was back then, you know? You didn't need a huge big team of people in order to create something amazing. It was just a bunch of guys who really enjoyed what they were doing and were all on the same page, and the result was a great game. Back then, publishing companies would take up games that looked fun, you know? Games that actually looked good and people might enjoy playing, rather than games that would make the most money. And stepped forth a publisher who truly knew how to publish entertaining games. Apogee Entertainment, because Apogee means entertainment. Instead of the usual cavalcade of Mario characters, Wacky Wheels decided to use zoo animals, anthropomorphic zoo animals. There weren't really that many differences other than the sounds they made and, the cosmetic stuff. They all raced roughly the same. And they all raced on lawnmowers, though they were totally carts. I mean, I don't know why they called them lawnmowers. It's pretty obvious when you look at it. They're carts. Maybe they were worried about getting sued by Nintendo. One of the most intriguing things about Wacky Wheels is the soundtrack. It's done by this guy called Mark Clem, who isn't really known for doing much else, and it's glorious. It's wonderful. It's one of the best soundtracks in gaming, I think. It's fast-paced, it fits the game perfectly, and generally a great job was done on it. It's almost the best part of the game, and it's a shame that he didn't go on to do anything else. Well, strictly speaking, that's not true. There are many great Doom mods that you can find Mark Clem's music in, so keep your ears peeled. I decided to go with Ringo the Raccoon, for no particular reason. The first thing you'll want to do with Wacky Wheels is go to the DOS setup program, because you'll want to rebind the keys. There are 5 difficulty levels in Wacky Wheels, and that determines just how insidious the AI is with its plots. One thing the manual notes is that it's also about how well you know the tracks, because you can be a veteran kart racer, but if you don't know the layout of a track and you're up against dangerous AI, you're in trouble. You then pick the number of laps you wish to race each race, and the horsepower of your go-kart, which is totally a go-kart and not a lawnmower. So if you want things nice and easy, you can, but if you find after an hour or so that there isn't any challenge left, you can bump up that difficulty and start swearing at cute animals. The races are divided into bronze, silver and gold, with the difficulty increasing with each one. There's also a bonus upgrade pack, including more bronze, silver and gold races, which is played separately. This was essentially an expansion that you could order from the company in order to upgrade your Wacky Wheels experience, but all digital copies of Wacky Wheels come with this by default these days. There are 5 races in each division, and you have to finish in the top 3 each time in order to get any points. If you don't finish in the top 3, the game will helpfully ask if you want to race again, because it knows that you did a really bad job. Split screen and modem are also a thing, but it's now the 20s, so playing local multiplayer is not a thing anymore, and nobody uses modems. Now you'd think I'd say, oh well, with the advanced career mode there are hundreds of hours of gaming. No, there's not. There's not. You can complete Wacky Wheels within an hour if you know what you're doing. Maybe 2 tops. So you're probably asking, James, why are you recommending a game that, only has 60 minutes of gameplay? Well, it's all about the replay value. I've played Wacky Wheels multiple times now. It never really gets old to me, to be honest. Anytime I need that kart fix, I just pop it in and play. It's simple, it's easy, and it's addictive. There's also the duck shoot mode, where you can practice your shooting by running after a pile of ducks on a track and seeing how many you can get within a time limit. Because why not? Shooting ducks has always been a good idea. Speaking of shooting, in order to shoot, you have to run over hedgehogs. There will be various hedgehogs littered over the track, going about their daily business. Whether it's exercising, or going to the toilet, or shooting a gun with a trench coat, I don't know what's going on there. There are also power-ups that you can get, which are fun. You know, you can have some sort of oil slicks and various bits and pieces to make the race a nightmare for your computer opponent. Unfortunately, they're persistent. So if you drop something and then you have to go round the lap again, you'll have to avoid it. The special items are all helpfully listed in the manual, which is over there. See it? Yeah. You should probably pause this video if you can't find the Wacky Wheels manual. There are also posts in the game, and it's very important that you don't run head first into them at full speed, because your cartoon character will go flying back into the screen and smash it. And that's the end of the race. It's one of the only ways the race will end without you crossing the finishing line first. On a technical level, the frame rate is abysmal, and you can't really see much ahead of you either because of the rendering distance. But none of that actually matters, because you get so caught up in the gameplay that you don't really notice after a while, you just get used to it. Which shows how superfluous a lot of these technical upgrades can be to a lot of players. It can get pretty nerve-wracking on higher levels, because you know that even if you're ahead in a race, one good shot from the computer and you can be done. Overall, Wacky Wheels is a casual sort of game that you can dip in and out of, and while it does require a certain level of skill, it doesn't ask much from you. You go in, you race, you have fun, you listen to the fun soundtrack, and then you're done. Unfortunately, I didn't have Wacky Wheels growing up. I had Skunny Kart. When they were originally developing Wacky Kart under the Copysoft logo, the Wacky Wheels developers decided to leave a CD with the source code on it, which is a very, very silly idea, because Copysoft and their wonderful Skunny series do not care about copyright law, nor do they care about unscrupulous actions. So they took the source code for that demo of Wacky Kart, and they made their own kart game instead. There was no legal action taken, but it was a very shady move. And Skunny Kart is filled to the brim with copyrighted sounds and materials that don't belong to Copysoft, but hey, they're gonna use it anyway, literally living up to their name by providing stolen assets. Good job, Skunny! Fortunately, Wacky Wheels is remembered for being the better game, and is available today via digital distribution. The good guy won out in the end. With the rise of emulation and Mario Kart being able to be played on just about anything these days, Wacky Wheels isn't as essential as it used to be back in the day. But back in 1994 there was no Z-SNES or decent emulators, so if you wanted a decent kart experience, then Wacky Wheels was as good as it got. And you know what? It's not bad nowadays either. Give it a go.